A very warm good morning to all of you. Dear students, once again I would like to welcome all of you to a new session of the history class. Today we are going to continue with the same chapter, chapter number 13, United Nations part 3. Do you remember what we were discussing in the previous class? We were discussing about one of the organs of United Nations, that is General Assembly. And we have seen the composition of the General Assembly. So these were the main 2 points which we were discussing in the last class. Today we are going to discuss the other important organ of United Nations, and that is the Security Council. So General Assembly is one of the most important organ of United Nations because the decision of the General Assembly is being implemented by the United Nations. So the first important organ of the United Nations is General Assembly, and the second priority is given to Security Council. So today we are going to study something further about the Security Council of United Nations. It is the executive body of United Nations. We have already seen in the General Assembly the will of the majority members will become the resolution of the United Nations. So the majority countries or the will of the majority members of the United Nations will become the resolution of United Nations, and that resolution will be implemented by the help of Security Council. So that's why Security Council is being considered as the executive body of United Nations. So once the opinion of the countries will be expressed, and it will be coming under the discussion of Security Council, and they will implement it. That's why it is being known as executive body of United Nations. And the major responsibility of the Security Council is the maintenance of international peace and security. It is the one and main major responsibility of the Security Council, maintenance of international peace and security. And it is continuously functioning, or it is continuous function is one of the speciality of Security Council, which means we have already seen in the case of General Assembly, it is functioning, or it is starting its session by the 3rd Tuesday of September till the 3rd week of December. It is the usual time of the session of the General Assembly. So once in a year they gather together and discussing about a number of problems. But at the same time the Security Council is continuously functioning. Throughout the year it functions because all the resolutions passed by the General Assembly will be coming to the Security Council, and they are making it implemented, or they are implementing the decisions taken by the General Assembly. There are certain criteria. It doesn't mean that whatever decisions taken by the General Assembly will be implemented, but it will be screened again and it will be studied again, and on the basis of that it will be done. We will see it in the coming part of the chapter. A representative of each member to be present at the headquarters, which means there is a fixed number of representatives. So the representative of those members means the countries. So we will see how it happens, but just for the time being you just remember this point: a representative of each member to be present at the headquarters. I will explain this particular point in the next slide. Now we are going to see the composition of Security Council. How is the structure of the Security Council? Altogether 15 members are there. Who are the 5 permanent members? Who are the 5 permanent members? Britain, France, Russia, China and United States of America. So these are the 5 different permanent members of the Security Council. Now what about the remaining 10 members? See, from Afro-Asian countries, 5 members will be there. Latin American countries, 2 members will be there. From West European countries, 2 members will be there. East European countries, 1 member will be there. See, 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. So altogether 10 members. 10 members plus 5 permanent members, altogether 15 members. Now let's go back to the last point which we were discussing. What was that? A representative of each member must be present at the headquarters. See, from Afro-Asian countries, 5 members will be there. So out of these 5, 1 member must be there in the headquarters at every time. Then Latin American countries, 2 members will be there and 1 member must be there for every session. West European, out of 2, 1 must be present always. So that's what is meant by the point which we have seen in the last slide. Okay, so altogether 15 members are there, and among the 15 there will be 5 permanent members: Britain, France, Russia, China and USA. Rest of the 10 members includes Afro-Asian countries have 5 members. From Latin American countries, 2 members are there. From West European countries, 2 members are there. East European group, 1 member is there. So these are the structure of the Security Council. Then non-permanent member will be elected by General Assembly with the support of 2/3 majority for the term of 2 years. What about non-permanent member? We have seen out of 15, 10 members are non-permanent. So those non-permanent members will be elected by the General Assembly. We have already seen the composition and the features of General Assembly. So when we were discussing about the points of General Assembly, there we have seen by the 3rd Tuesday of September they will start their session. The first process of the session will be electing the members. So this non-permanent member also will be elected by the General Assembly, and they have to get 2/3 majority in the session, which means if there are 90 countries as the members of General Assembly, out of 90, 60 members has to support. So 2/3 majority is compulsory, and the term of the membership will be for 2 years. So the term of a non-permanent member in the Security Council will be for 2 years. Retiring country cannot or will not be eligible for immediate election. So suppose if a country is elected to the Security Council, after 2 years they will get retired and they cannot again elected as a member as soon as when they get retired. Maybe after a number of years they can try for the second chance, but soon after the retiring they cannot take part in the election. They will not be eligible for immediate election once they retire. Now about the President of the Security Council. The President of the Security Council rotates monthly. Every month a new President will be getting appointed, and the presidency is on the basis of the English alphabetical order of member. I'll explain it to you. Suppose there are 3 different countries. First one France, second one America, third one Britain. First one France, second one America, third one Britain. So the presidency will be rotated monthly. So first chance will be gone to America, a country, its name starts with the first alphabetical letter of the English alphabets. So first chance will be for America, second chance will be for Britain, and third chance will be for France. So according to the names of the countries or the members will be kept, and according to the alphabetical order of the name, the presidency will be shifted from one to the next, and it will be rotating every month. And now we are going to see one of the speciality of the Security Council, that is the veto power. Let's see what is veto power. Each member has one vote. Altogether 15 members are there. So each member has got one vote. Altogether 15 votes will be there. So decisions will be taken on the basis of the system of casting vote. In the case of vote, two different kinds of votes are there. First one, affirmative or positive votes of its members. So if there is an issue and the discussion came to the Security Council, and the Security Council has undergone the process of voting system. So 15 members are there. So all the 15 members, if they are supporting it, that positive response of the members is being known as affirmative vote, or in other words, positive vote. Including the affirmative vote of permanent members. Out of 15, 5 members are permanent, remaining 10 members are there. Their vote is being known as positive vote, is being known as affirmative vote. And if the permanent members are casting their vote in the positive manner, same example, if there is an issue, it came in the discussion of the Security Council, and 10 members, they have supported it, they have casted their vote in the positive manner, they have agreed with it, okay, and including the affirmative vote of permanent members. Out of the 5 permanent members, 4 members supported it, which means altogether now 14 positive votes are there, 14 affirmative votes are there. Now one country, one permanent member is negating it, one permanent member is against it, he is not ready to go with the decision of the rest. The negative vote of a permanent member is being known as veto power. I hope you got a very clear picture about it. I hope you understood it well. Okay. So altogether 15 members are there. Out of the 15, 5 members are permanent and 10 members, they have casted their vote in positive manner. So it is being known as affirmative vote, and including the affirmative vote of permanent members. Permanent members, if they are casting their vote to show their support, or they cast in a positive manner, it is also being known as affirmative vote. Suppose 14 members, including 4 permanent members, 14 affirmative votes were there. But one permanent member was not ready to agree with that. Negative vote of the permanent member is being known as veto power. Council is not able to act if any permanent member casts a negative vote. So Security Council cannot take a decision in case if there is a veto power or a negative vote. So 15 members are there. Out of the 15, if one permanent member is not ready to agree with the decision of the rest, then the Security Council cannot function. Being absent is not a negative vote. So if a permanent member is being absent in the particular session, it cannot be considered as a negative vote. Now we are going to see the different powers of Security Council. First one, maintain international peace and security. So it's one of the main responsibility of the Security Council. We have already seen it. Second one, investigate any dispute that might lead to international friction. Suppose if there is some kinds of problem between two countries, and if they feel that it can become an international problem, so investigate about it. Investigate any dispute that might lead to international friction. Third one, recommend methods of adjusting disputes. So if there is a problem between two countries, they can make recommendations by which the problem can get over. Some adjustment methods can be recommended by the Security Council, so that the problem will be over. Fourth one, formulate plans for the establishment of system of regulate armaments. Even now we are very much aware about it, because none of the countries are permitted or having permission to make nuclear weapons in hidden manners or without the knowledge of other countries. All the countries are making number of experiments, but in an open manner no country is permitted to do it. Formulate plans for the establishment of system of regulate armaments. Okay. The next point is determine the existence of threat to the peace and recommend what action to be taken. So if there is a threat between the number of countries or between a country, or if there is a problem which can become a threat for the international peace, they can recommend what action to be taken. So it is the duty or the responsibility of the Security Council. Next one, call on members to apply economic sanctions. It is an international organization, so they need a fund for the functioning. So call on members, they can ask to the members to apply economic sanctions. Military actions against an aggressor. If a member of the United Nations is fighting against one another country, military actions can be taken, and it will be the responsibility of the Security Council to sanction those kinds of orders. Recommend admission of new members. So if a new country is seeking an admission in the United Nations, so the United Nations Security Council can recommend for those newcomers. Then exercise of the trusteeship functions of the United Nations in strategic areas. Wherever necessities or other necessary activities are needed, so UN will be organizing, especially the Security Council will be organizing it. Recommend to General Assembly to elect the judges of the International Court of Justice. So another important organ of the United Nations is International Court of Justice, and it is the responsibility of the General Assembly to elect the judges of the International Court of Justice. So make recommendations for that. So it is also a responsibility of the Security Council of United Nations. So dear students, these are the different informations about the Security Councils, one of the organs of the United Nations. And I hope that you have got a very clear idea about the points which we have discussed today. And tomorrow we are going to discuss about the point which we have stopped, or which we have discussed as the last point of today's class. Do you remember what is that? Yes, International Court of Justice. So tomorrow we will be discussing about the International Court of Justice. Still then, I would like to sign off. Thank you.